In addition to the harness, you're going to have a tracking line that you're going to use. AKC says you must have at least 10 feet in between you and the dog when you're doing urban tracking. For field tracking, you'll understand the distinction later, you must have at least 20 feet. The maximum length of tracking line is 40 feet, regardless of what title you're going for. For the purposes of this class, I don't want you to have a long line. I want you to have a 10-foot line at the start. And you don't have to rush out and buy something. I'm sure you have something in your house that will work until you can figure out what kind of tracking line you want. So 10 feet, you could put two 6-foot leashes together. You could use a piece of clothesline, you know, whatever. Find something that's 10 feet long that you can attach to a harness. I do have a variety of lines here that I wanted to show you so you can sort of start to think about different materials, and we can talk about it more as class progresses. I have made almost all of my tracking lines by purchasing the line material and then the clips separately, and I've just made them. It's really cheap to do it that way, but you can go online and you can also buy one. This is a Biothane line. It's the only tracking line I have purchased. It's 40 feet long because I thought I would be able to use it, and I hate the thing. I paid $50 for this line and I hate this. I haven't gotten rid of it yet, but I don't use it very often.
She really, really, really does hate it.
These two lines, you can see they're very different weights. This is what I used for my Chihuahua and my Border Terriers. I call it my shoelace line. And all I did was I purchased a clip and I tied the clip to the line, and at the end I put in a series of knots so I knew I was at the end of the line, and that's how I know where the end is. And it's 40 feet long as well, but that's my shoelace line for tiny dogs. And this is a longer version for this is a wider version for bigger dogs. The same thing, I used a sewing machine to just sew the clip that I had to the line, and at the end of it there's some knots so it doesn't go slipping through my hands without me being able to know that I'm hitting the end of the line. These two materials are both flat. They're both tubular. If I squeeze them, you can see that they are round, but they're flat. So it's tubular nylon. This is the same thing. It's tubular. It's like a shoelace. It's harder to squeeze because it's so little. But the fact that it's flat but tubular makes a big difference, in my opinion, in terms of not getting tangled as easily as a round piece of clothesline or parachute line. You'll sometimes see that kind of thing. So I encourage you to search for flat tubular nylon polypropylene mix. If you can feel the line, what you want is something that feels kind of soft. Because as the dogs pull it through your hands, even this little one can cause you to get some rope burn. So you want to think about that and the softness of the line. This is obviously for a bigger dog, but I love this line. This was purchased at, I think, Farm and Fleet. Could have been Pards. It's for horses. You can buy the clips that attach the rope to the bolt. I purchased those at Farm and Fleet, and you make a line, you do the same at the other end, or you could just put knots in. This thing doesn't hurt my hands. It never gets tangled. It's absolutely wonderful to work with. It is very heavy, so if you have to have a dog that's capable of pulling this thing through the field without tiring. So it's important to take the size of the dog into consideration. So those are just some of the lines I have. I have other lines. I will have them at class. You'll be able to poke through my box and sort of see what I have. You can talk to me about it. For the first classes, you just need something that's around 10 feet long. So whatever you got in your house that's around 10 feet long that you can attach to a harness will work. You don't need to buy anything expensive.